Marc Andreessen. Here we are again.
Sarah Lacy.
This is your third year at TechCrunch 50. So far, how do you think the companies stack up compared to previous years?
3 out of 3. I would say that they're getting, it depends. It depends. I'm always looking for the outlier. So I'm looking for the one that's kind of not like all the others. And so when somebody like Udors or Healthy Wage gets up there, I get really excited. I love seeing new ideas. I think those two particular, the ideas were definitely new and distinctive.
Would you invest in any of the companies you've seen so far?
I would need to dig into a lot more. The problem with the format, of course, is you don't get into enough of the actual mechanics of the business, so you don't get to see enough, in particular around distribution and then market sizing. And a lot of my questions are always for any company around distribution and market sizing. And I wish more of the presenters would focus on that. And when a presenter doesn't talk about that, it makes me concerned that they don't actually have an answer. But that's what I would need to dig into to be able to actually answer the question of whether I would want to invest.
So you've officially been a VC for, what, a couple months now?
7 weeks and 1 day.
7 weeks and 1 day. Does counting the days mean that you love it or you hate it?
Love it, love it. So
really?
far, well, we say this around the office a lot. It's like, so far it's a tremendous amount of fun. Now, none of the companies have failed yet.
And it's too early for them to be successful.
Yeah, exactly. It's too early to know for sure. But so far it's really fun. And you know, really one of the big, you know, we have a bunch of criteria, but one of the things we want to do is invest in people we really want to be in business with. So, you know, so far everybody we've invested in, it's a lot of fun to talk to them, you know, as often as they want to and really get into what they're doing. So we feel good about that.
Do you think it's getting easier for startups right now in the economy, or do you think it's getting harder?
Well, in general, the economy is pretty rotten. So in general, consumer spending has fallen a lot and hasn't really recovered, and business spending is certainly way down. Unemployment's way up. There's plenty of funding available. I don't think there's a funding crisis. I think we're so far away from a funding crisis for startups.
Right.
Basically, a qualified team with a great idea can get funded. I mean, it's not a problem. But yeah, I mean, the end markets are depressed. On the other hand, that's not necessarily a bad thing if you're starting a company, because you'll probably have less competition. You'll probably be forced to be more serious from the start, and that can often pay off with a higher quality company.
So one of your more high-profile deals you guys have done was the recent Skype deal.
Yep.
Did you anticipate doing something like that when you started this firm? I mean, not a typical venture capital deal.
Yeah, so first of all, I need to say I'm not going to talk about anything about Skype, certainly with a red light on a flip video camera.
Note to self, tape over the red light.
You can't just cover up the red light, that won't do it either. So nothing specifically on that. I would say in general, what we told our investors and what we believe is that there are a small number of companies founded each year that matter. Those companies have the opportunity to literally change the world, and they have the opportunity to get to be very big as businesses. And so our philosophy is to invest in those companies. Sometimes you're able to get into those companies early, even in a seed round, which we try to do. Sometimes you don't get them till later, and so we think that there are a certain set of companies that just have, you know, really, really big potential. Skype is certainly one of those. And so given our investment thesis, we think it made a lot of sense.